Welcome back to Business Breakfast and Bedhead. I actually do these live calls on Instagram. I would love for you to come and hang out with me at them. So if you don't already follow me at Dawn Bradley, DAWNBRADLEY, should have made a song about that. Go follow me there because then you can take part in these live calls and can actually chat with me. But if you can't make them, no sweat. Now they're going to be here. So welcome to Business Breakfast and Bedhead. Buckle up, friend, and let's dive in. I overthink, I overshare, and I overanalyze. So come explore with me as I chat about business, life, and relationships, all through the lens of an anxious creative. Good morning and welcome to Business Breakfast and Bedhead. I'm your host, Dawn Bradley, and I'm so excited to chat with you about how to get more clients. This is such a hot topic right now. I know a lot of you guys are trying to fill your schedule. You want to maybe weed out some clients. You want to get new clients in, or maybe you're coming back from a leave. Maybe you've moved to a new city. You've had a baby. You're shifting careers. You're going to a new salon. You're going to a new space. Whatever it is that you're needing new clients, I want to help you this morning. So before we get into it, I just want to say that this is a safe space and a judgment-free zone. I'm going to show up real, raw, honest, and vulnerable for you so that we can do this together. So if you're willing to this to be a safe space and a judgment-free zone along with me, can you put a 1 in the chat? That just shows me that you're a safe person to be around. I'm building girl help. Let's talk. Keratin, I love it. And so, hi Alicia. So put a 1 in the chat if you're willing for this to be a safe space and a judgment-free zone, because that's really important to me as I show up and share very real, raw, honest, vulnerable conversations. Next thing is I want you to go ahead and put your name and where you're tuning in from in the world, because I want to build a community here and I want us to be able to help each other. So, story time. Quickly, I started in the industry as a hairstylist in 2001, and I was an assistant at first, and I got so sick of sweeping hair and washing bowls that eventually I was like, I was allowed to take request clients, but I was still like growing in my skills, and I was like, well, I want to get busy and I want to get better, and I know the only way to get better is to get practice in, and I didn't want to wait around for more clients to trickle in or to get more people, and so, or to get more people requesting me like just organically. And so I remember being like making a choice, and I never blamed the salon I worked for. I never blamed my boss for not getting me more clients, because here's the reality. Oh, we got people from Edmonton. I love it. From Slovenia, is that right? Vancouver, I love it. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm doing a 5-week series right now on how to build your business, and we're starting this week with clientele building, and I'm so excited. So I decided I was going to take full responsibility over my life and my future. And that's step number 1. If you want to grow your clientele rapidly, it's not what you know, it's what you do. And you need to take wild responsibility over your life and your circumstances. Although you may be in circumstances that are not your fault. Although you may be put in a position that you never wanted to be put into, right? So recognizing that the where you're at right now might not be your fault, but taking wild responsibility over, I'm going to figure a way out of it. Take responsibility, first things first, and then make a plan. And the thing is you can make a plan, but don't stay stuck on the plan. So many times we plan, we replan, we reimagine, we go da-da-da, and we don't take action. You need to make a quick plan and then take action. And what happens is so many times people get stuck in the plan. What do I do? Yes, I will save this video, and all of these end up going on my podcast, the Anxious Creative Podcast. If you're ever looking for a really good podcast to listen to, the Anxious Creative Podcast has most of my lives on there, as well as podcast episodes that release every week. So I want you to make a plan, and then instead of ruminating over, is this the right plan? Is it going to work? Is it going to get the results? I tried it once, it didn't work. You want to take action and execute the plan. This is my R.P.A. method. Responsibility, plan, and action, and then repeat. I need to find a cuter word. I need to make a word out of it, like rower plan. So you want to repeat it, and you want to take action enough times to recognize if it's getting traction. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people quit before they've given it a chance. Well, I tried to get a new client. I was weird. I was awkward. They didn't come in. Did you give yourself time to practice and learn the skills? And so I have my CARE method that I shared with you guys last week on my live. And if you missed that, go back. My CARE method, do I have it here in front of me so I can read it out to you really quickly? My CARE method to help you build your clientele, which is lead with a compliment. I don't have it in front of me. CARE method, you want to make an appeal. You want to be respectful, and you want to execute your offer. And so if you want to know more about that granular stuff, go look up my CARE method. But if you're wanting to get new clients, put a 1 in the chat right now if you're wanting more clients and you share more ideal clients, because this is
really, really important. And ask yourself, how bad do you want it? Are you willing to take action? Because here's the thing, the students that I work with, the students that take my education, are people who are ready to ditch the excuses, who want a guide but are ready to do it on their own, and they don't need their hands being held. They're ready to take messy, immediate, imperfect action. They're ready to do what needs to be done. They're ready to get out of their own way. They're ready to stop self-sabotaging and get messy. And that means sometimes tripping over your words, embarrassing yourself a little bit. And I know I do that care method so well when out and about. Yeah, I love that. I'm screenshotting that. Leisha, am I saying that right? But I want you guys to know that the biggest thing is you have to decide that you want it bad enough. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to make this happen? How bad do you want the results? Because you can make excuses. You can find other things that seem busy and productive to do, like, oh, well, I should make my Instagram prettier before, or I should do this. You have to take messy, immediate, imperfect action. You have to be willing to do it scared. You have to be willing to do it feeling unprepared. The first time I went and invited a new client in, I was so sick of sweeping hair and washing bowls that I was like, you know what? I need to get busy. I'm going to start trying to get people to request me. I took a business card from the salon. I wrote my name in pencil on it. And then at the grocery store, I was like, oh, that good. The grocery clerk looks like someone that I would want to do her hair. And I was like, here's you have great hair. Here's my card. I'm a hairstylist. You should come see me. I was just a new stylist. Did she come see me? No. Did I feel embarrassed? Yes. Did it get the ball rolling? Yes. So stop thinking you need to look for the opportunities that will only lead to success. Failure is the pathway to success. So it's not about picking the right opportunity or having the right words to then make it all click. It's about being willing to do it scared, do it messy, do it unprepared, and fail at it again and again and again until it starts to get second nature, until you learn to develop the skills. You can conceptually learn how to play the piano. You can read all the articles, you can understand where your fingers go, but until you go and sit at a piano and start actually getting the dexterity to learn how to play, or, insert like a sport or learning anything, until you can learn what to do. You can know it perfectly, but until you start to actually do it, you're going to feel like, oh, I know what to do. How come my hands, or how come I'm not able to do it the same way? You can learn how to cut hair logically and mentally, but until you actually learn the dexterity of it, you're still going to be a beginner. You're going to know what you should be doing. You're not going to be able to do it because you need your body to understand how to do it. That's just like building a clientele. You can read all the, like, you've got my playbook likely. If you don't have my playbook already, it's a free playbook. You can just type the word booked in the comments here right now. Type the word booked and it'll have an automation that sends you to my free download of my 7 steps that got me fully booked in under 12 weeks. You can memorize that, you can learn it, but until you're willing to apply it over and over and find your unique way of doing it, it's not going to work. And actually, the more you learn and the more better you understand, the more you're going to beat yourself up over the fact that you're not getting it done the right way. So stop over consuming information. Stop being addicted to learning and allergic to implementing. The best thing you could do is the thing that you're most scared of, is stop learning and start doing. Start practicing. Start spending time around people who've done something that you've done that you want to create. I've built and rebuilt my clientele 6 different times on 3 different continents. I didn't get it right every single time, and I still don't get every single client I ask to come be my client. It's about playing the odds, and Jenny Roy, so good to see you on here. And it's about getting practice. If I haven't asked new clients to come in a long time, so I'm rusty, so it's going to feel uncomfortable. I'm going to have to, if we use the analogy of going to the gym, I'm going to have to pick up lighter weights to start to build up that strength and that muscle. And so know that you might not have the strength and muscle you once had, or you might not have any strength and muscle in this area at all. And that's okay. That's why I want to remind you, just because you're years into your career and you feel embarrassed about telling people that you need new clients, people aren't going to judge you on needing new clients because you're 10, 15 years in, right? And what if I work at a home salon? I worked at a home salon when I first moved here and built my clientele fully in 12 weeks from the basement of my house. I'm worried about how to market myself other than content. Yeah, Leisha, DM me and let's chat, because my client building bundle is an amazing program for you. But the biggest thing is getting out of the mindset of that you work from home and how to market. Like I think that sounds like you're holding yourself back. We find reasons why we're not in a place that we should, or why people, whatever our insecurity is, we project onto like why people wouldn't want to book with us, or why people wouldn't say yes, or why this. So whatever you're like worried other people might be thinking, it's because you're thinking it about yourself. And so you need to get rid of that. I remember when I moved here, I didn't have an issue. I didn't want to work from home, but I knew I didn't want to go work in a salon, and I knew I didn't want to rent a chair. I want to be in control of my environment. And so I didn't love that. I was stubborn about my goals, flexible about my approach. I didn't want to work from home, and I wasn't thrilled about my space and how it looked, but I remember going, people are coming to me for the end result of their hair. Yes, it's an experience. I want to create a good environment, but it's not about the color of the walls. It's not about where it is in my house. It's about the end result. Those things are all added bonuses. And so when I priced my services, I knew what I had worked in London, England, under some of the best hairstylists in the world. I had worked as a lead colorist for the Australian Hairstylist of the Year. I knew I was a good stylist. I knew I had the skills and the talent. And so when I priced myself as if I was working in a high-end salon downtown Calgary. I lived in the burbs. People came to my basement. I was fully booked in 12 weeks. Why? Because I was confident in what I was offering. I wasn't going, oh, are they going to wonder because I'm in my basement? I was like, I'm in my basement, but I'm a really good hairstylist and you're going to love it. So you should come see me. And you get this quiet, there was no salon suites at the time. You get this environment that's private and conducive to you. So I really sold it instead of going in the insecurity of like, oh, people are going to walk through my house and they're going to see that it's a rental and they're going to see that there's old carpet and they're maybe going to judge me. I went, look at what you're getting. You're getting private. You're getting my full attention. You're getting all my skills and knowledge. And if you live in the area, you don't have to drive downtown and pay for parking. I focused on the positive. So whatever your insecurity is what you're going to focus on, and then you're going to assume that people aren't going to want to pay the value, and then you're going to think you should discount, or you're going to think you're going to need a deal. People who are looking for discounted services are only looking for discounted services. They're not looking for quality. And if you're wanting to build your clientele with people that you really want to see your value and stick with you, you need to be focused on value-based marketing and desire-based marketing, meaning you need to market yourself as the it person in your area, as the solution that they've been looking for, and why your way of doing things is exactly what they've been missing. Instead of focusing on, oh, they're probably going to think I'm not that good because the walls are kind of a icky color, or they're probably not going to think I'm that good, or they're going to wonder if I'm legit because I work from home. No, you can say, oh my gosh, you're so lucky to be able to come see me. For me, it was like, I'm brand new to the city. I do this service called hair painting. It's pretty new. This is back in 2014. This little hair is bugging me so much. And you're finally going to get the hair that you've been wanting, that no one else has been able to get you, that's going to grow out. You're going to be able to go longer in between your appointments. So my services were priced higher because I'm giving you more longevity. You're going to have a graduated grow out. There's going to be no harsh lines. You're going to love it. And you're going to come to my home and you're going to get peace and quiet. And I knew who I was talking to. So these are the things that I go over inside of my client building bundle, and I'm going to be revamping it. So I'm curious, those of you guys who would want to work in a more closer proximity with me, where I can give you feedback on how to build your clientele and how to get new clients. If you're interested, no obligation, just put a 1 in the chat. Because you need to know who you're talking to. What did I say? Take action. No, not think from your insecurities. Hi, Carlene. And then move forward. Okay, Brooke. I think my swagger has been knocked, honestly. My salon is amazing and I'm amazing. I just haven't had the confidence. I love that. Oh, look at all of you guys. 1, 1, 1. I love it. Okay, I'm taking a screenshot here. And I know that confidence being knocked. If you guys have been around long enough, the last 2 years have been a wild ride for me. I was in a 10-year relationship that I knew about infidelity and betrayal, and I continued to stay. And then at the very end, found out that there had been betrayal and infidelity for the entire 10 years. And that was really hard for me to understand. It knocked me off my confidence game, not just personally, but professionally as well. Because I thought, how did I miss this? How could I have not seen this? Why, how can I even show up confidently in my work when the wool was pulled over my eyes personally for the last 10 years? And so I'm just getting back up on my feet as well. And I want to say thank you to so many of you guys who have stuck around with me for so long. But the reality is you're allowed to take a breather. You're allowed to take a moment. You're allowed to get knocked off your feet sometimes. It's okay. I want to assure you of that. And I want to remind you that you're worthy of the goals and dreams that you have. Ditto, and I'm sorry, hence the new normal. Yeah, it takes a new normal. And it learns how to, start to learn how to stand up for yourself, how to take responsibility over things that aren't your fault. And also give yourself time to breathe. So I just want you to know that if you're wanting to grow your clientele, if you're ready to take wild responsibility over over getting it done and not outsourcing it like, well, I could do that, but I know it won't work. No, you got to repeat and try things. You have to be willing to do it. And once you do, you'll see massive change, but you have to be willing to take responsibility. You have to be willing to start before you're ready. You have to take action, and you have to stop looking and outsourcing for different things that find something that's finally going to feel right. The only way to grow is to get uncomfortable. And so are you willing to get uncomfortable? Yes or no, put it in the comments. Are you willing to get uncomfortable for the sake of growth? Are you willing to get uncomfortable? How bad do you want the result? How bad do you want more clients? How bad? Because how bad you want it determines how hard you'll try. And I get that we're in different places and different seasons of our lives, and we have different things going on. And lots of times you might be in a place where you should not even be in this place. It's totally unfair that you're been put in this position right now. And I want to recognize that, and I want to validate that, and I want to appreciate the fact that it sucks that you shouldn't have been put in this position right now. And it's not your fault. But what are you going to do about it? Because no one else has control over your life except you. And so I want you to ask myself, how bad do I want it? And what am I going to do about it? Right? And these are two questions that I ask myself every single day. I want you to put it on a Post-it note. How bad do I want it? And what am I going to do about it? And enter in whether it's building your clientele, building your business, or doing something in your life. How bad do I want it, and what am I going to do about it? And ask yourself that question every single morning. And remind yourself that you're a big deal, and you can do hard things, and you're going to take messy, immediate, imperfect action. Meaning starting before you're ready, being willing to fail, being willing to trip. Because I don't care what you know. You will not impress me with what you know. You'll impress me with what you do. And if you're willing to trip, fall, pick yourself up again, trip, fall, pick yourself up again, trip, fall, pick yourself up again, I commend that. I am in awe of that. I respect that. And I am so encouraged by that. Because it's not about getting it done right the first time. It's be willing to try when you don't really know 100%. It's not until you can, like I was saying earlier, you can read exactly how to play the guitar. You can understand it and learn it. But until you start using your dexterity, you might know exactly what to do, and then you go to play it and you're like, how come I can't do it? Because you have to learn it physically. And so many times we're addicted to learning and allergic to implementing, meaning we think learning mentally is going to save us the failure of actually doing it, but you have to be willing to go do it. Okay, I needed this. I'm an amazing hairstylist, not in a bragging kind of way, but I know I'm good, and I'm almost 100% sure the problem is that not enough people know I exist. 100%. You could be the best in the world, and if no one knows you exist, so many people are scared of coming across cocky. There's a difference between confidence and cocky. And generally, our ego tells us that we're being cocky. Confidence is humble. Confidence is born, this is a Brené Brown quote, confidence is born from courage and vulnerability. So, Vintage Beauty, I love this, or Noelle, I think your name is. I love this because you're not bragging. You are amazing. And there's a difference saying I'm an amazing hairstylist, confident, as to I'm the best hairstylist in the world and everyone should see me and I don't know why anyone else would go anywhere else. That's cocky. That's overcompensating because of a deep, deep insecurity. But a lot of times our ego will work so sly, and I want you guys to listen in on this. Anybody who's a people pleaser and anybody who tries to stay humble and is like, well, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. That's your ego, and you're actually more egotistical by staying quiet because you're believing that you're being so humble. You're believing your ego sometimes is there. Now, I don't do a lot of ego work, so I mean, people could disagree with me, and I reserve the right to change my mind on this. But what I often see in my personal life is ego doesn't come across as egotistical. Ego comes across as whispering in my ear telling me, I don't think you should do this. That's going to embarrass you. And it keeps me from taking action. It keeps me from speaking up confidently. It tells me if you speak up confidently, people are going to think you're too much. People are going to think you're being egotistical. And being egotistical is playing small. You're actually feeding into the cockiness of your ego when you play small and you don't show up. And if that hit you hard, put a 1 in the chat right now. Because if you're playing small and you're not showing up and talking confidently about yourself, which talking confidently about yourself means taking courage and vulnerability. Hey, I know I'm not the only hairstylist out there. I know I'm not the only one that provides the service, but I know I do a good job. And I would love to be able to serve you. But your ego You think you're being humble and kind, but you're actually letting your ego control you, and it is sabotaging you. Your ego is sabotaging you from showing up in your full confidence, and it's trying to tell you your confidence will embarrass you. When you lean into taking courageous action, meaning being willing to fail and being vulnerable, sharing with people, I'm really nervous right now. Hi, I love your hair and it's beautiful. And I'm actually really nervous because I'm a hairstylist. And I mean, you probably have a really amazing hairstylist because your hair looks so good right now. But I just needed to give you a compliment. I'm also building my business and I would never want to poach you from anybody. But if you're ever looking for some reason you need a new hairstylist, here's my card. Courageous and vulnerable, not cocky. Your hair, and I'm using hairstylist as an example, but insert whatever service you provide. Your type of hair is the exact kind of hair that I love to do and I'm really good at. And I would never want to poach you, and I feel weird and I kind of feel embarrassed because this is so weird and I don't normally do this, but here's my card. If you're ever looking for a hairstylist, I would love to get my hands in your hair because I know, I mean, it already looks amazing, but I know we could do some really cool magic together. Courage and vulnerability is what builds confidence, and you will not come across as cocky. If you're scared to come across as cocky, you're leaning into the wrong you're trying to portray yourself without fear. Lean into the courage and vulnerability and you invite people in. And use my CARE method. Compliment, appeal, respect, and execute your offer. If you guys want to know more, hit me up. I've got my client building bundle. You can get, I think it's in the link in my bio. I'm not really sure where it is. Isn't that terrible? I think there's also maybe a highlight. But my client building bundle is changing the game for hairstylists. And the reason it's doing that is because people are willing to get out of their own way and not just learn what to do, but do it. And so if you're ready to do it, go get my client building bundle. All right, you guys, you're amazing. Have a wonderful day. And we'll talk to you soon. I'll be here same time, same place tomorrow morning. And I don't know what we're talking about yet, but if you keep an eye on my stories later today, I will post what the topic is for tomorrow. And if you want to dive into more free education, go check out the Anxious Creative Podcast, wherever you listen to the podcast. And please hit me up with a DM with what resounded with you and what action you take and results you get. I want to celebrate you. You're amazing. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the podcast and for tuning into Business Breakfast and Bedhead. Like I said, I would love for you to join me live on these over on Instagram. So once again, just look up Dawn Bradley and let's connect. Shoot me a DM, send me a screenshot, tag me in your stories of listening to this or what you took away from this. Those comments, that feedback really makes my day and helps me know that these things are landing and that you want to hear more. I do these lives and I do this podcast for you to help you, and your feedback means the world to me. And if you enjoyed this episode, help me spread the love. Share it with a friend, a coworker, family member, or leave a review. And make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next time. Until then, friend, stay weird.